Are you a millionaire yet? Right now, there are over 20 million people in the US who already are. Now, if you are one of them, then this story is not for you. But if you are not a millionaire yet, this will be the most important video of your entire life. My name is Michael Cheney, and over the past 20 years, I've been a massively successful entrepreneur. In fact, many of the top names in the industry have me on their speed dial to help them get unstuck. And they've flown me all over the world to teach their students exactly what I'm about to teach you. Because I've decided to do something crazy and basically give away my entire life's work with all my secret blueprints for predictably building $1 million business. Why? Now these days my life is absolutely incredible. We vacation in exotic locations, we live in a beautiful home in Scotland, and I can give my wife and kids anything their hearts desire. It wasn't always like this for me though. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. What I'm about to tell you is totally humiliating, but I'm grateful it happened because it's a big part of why I'm so successful today. I was a total nerd back then and my boss hated me. He made my life miserable. So when that fateful Sunday evening rolled around, I was totally dreading work the next day. When I woke up, I knew something was off. I glanced at my clock. It was flashing 12 o'clock. I rushed out of the door. I raced off to work, praying my boss wouldn't notice, but he was waiting for me. And as soon as I walked through the door, "Cheney, get your ass over here now." Everything after that was kind of blur. He was up in my face. He was screaming obscenities at me. Now, I didn't know. It felt like an eternity. As soon as the clock hit 5 p.m., I raced home and ran to my room, locked myself in, and screamed into my pillow in total frustration. It was a white-hot rage burning inside me. I made a vow to myself that day that no one would ever again control my life, and no one would ever again humiliate me like that. But the next day, I went to work with a relentless fury, determined to escape the prison I was living in. I spent the next 2 years working my literal ass off. I bought every program online, watched every webinar, I listened to every guru, but nothing worked. I was totally out of money, and my fiance was running out of patience. It seemed to work for everyone else, but nothing was working for me. But one day, everything changed. I attended a business luncheon and happened to stumble on someone who was quiet, almost reserved, and he was even a little bit mysterious. But I'd heard that he was fabulously wealthy, and I was totally desperate, so I finally worked up the nerve to approach this guy, and I asked him for his help. When he said yes, I just knew this was my break. Then he added a but. "Michael," he said, "I want to help you, but I need to know you're ready. So I'll show you exactly what's working, a literal blueprint to building wealth, if you come over to my house next weekend and bring $10,000. I didn't have $10,000, so I went home and I talked to my fiancée, Laura. Understandably, she flat out told me no. I did it anyway. I spent the money and the weekend with this incredibly wealthy businessman, opening his playbook to a world of secrets that were making him millions. I went home and started implementing everything right away, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't terrified when I clicked publish. 24 hours later, which felt like an eternity, we finally opened the laptop again, but we were shocked when we saw that there wasn't $10,000 in our account, but $60,247. And in that moment, I knew that I was absolutely a free man. I had made a staggering $60,000 working just one weekend. The next few years were an absolute whirlwind. Laura got that beautiful storybook wedding, by the way, and I'm not ashamed to say that I treated myself to a few of the finer things of life as well. For several years, I was on top of the world, but then things took a monstrous, near deadly turn for the worse. There was a strange new virus sweeping the planet. The world was in an unprecedented panic, but I was too busy to care about it, to be quite honest, until it almost killed me. I had to go live in the hospital, and I was left stranded with nothing but my memories. Those memories took me back in time, back to when my life was absolutely miserable. And slowly I started to wake up and remember my why, the real one. Freedom was my true why. And somewhere along the journey, I had lost my way. And that's when something hit me like a lightning bolt. Where would I be right now if that first mentor hadn't shared his secrets with me? That's when it dawned on me, the impact one man can have. I finally realized what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I wanted to become the source of hope to anyone who ever dreamed of freedom. I picked up a pad and wrote down 2 very important notes. First, there are more people struggling right now than ever before. And second, I want to help as many of those people as possible before I go. But to be honest, I had no clue where to begin. So I just started giving away money, loads of it. But my brilliant wife pointed out that I had something far more valuable than cash to share: knowledge, or more accurately, 2 decades of experience building businesses that create cash flow right out of thin air. So instead, I built a blueprint for the ultimate lean startup. You don't need a product, you don't need a war chest, you don't need connections, you don't need any special skills. But first, I want you to imagine this scenario. Instead of living for Fridays and dreading Mondays, what if every day felt like the weekend? Instead of slaving for a terrible boss, what if you were the boss? Right now, you can follow me and I'll show you how I beat a rigged system. Or you can choose to run and hide like the cowardly Scots who didn't join Wallace and died with regrets. But I can promise that one day, decades from now, after you've traded your entire life for a lousy paycheck that can barely cover the bills, you'll think back to this day, knowing that you would give anything to come back here and make the choice to choose freedom. So as someone who has sat exactly where you are, I'll tell you 1,000 times over, choosing freedom was the best decision of my life. Right now, you are at a crossroads. This could be the most important decision of your life, and you have 2 options. Option 1, click off this page and ignore everything I've shared with you, and live the rest of your life exactly like it's been up to this point. Or option 2, you can click this button below, one tiny, insignificant step. But with that one step, you'll walk through a huge door of opportunity. It's your choice. I'm pulling back the curtain and revealing a system that's so complete you cannot fail. And I'm doing everything in my power to help you win your fight. There's really only one small thing standing in your way: fear. But if you are a born freedom fighter like us, then know this: the brave ones who do choose to follow me will follow me to ultimate freedom. Join me and live free. Just click the button below to get started.